In tonight's headlines, Messi fever grips the Hong Kong stadium as the football legend practices on the eve of a friendly match. Key ministers give more details on Article 23, which the government aims to enact this year. And the United States hits targets in Iraq and Syria in response to a drone strike that killed 3 U.S. soldiers.
Football fans went wild when their idol Lionel Messi stepped onto the pitch at the Hong Kong Stadium this evening for a training session. They had paid between $580 and $780 just to see the Argentine captain train and were worried that he might not turn up as he had picked up an injury earlier. There was relief when the World Cup winner made his appearance. Messi mostly did stretching exercises, while his Inter Miami teammates trained for tomorrow's match against a select Hong Kong side. Still, fans were excited and a loud roar went up every time Messi made a move. Some were so eager to see the football legend that they lined up at the stadium as early as 7 a.m., more than 10 hours before the training session began. The early birds wanted to get a good seat so they could be closer to the hero. Zhang, a student from Shenzhen, only attended the training session, saying that the ticket for the match is beyond his budget. Local fan Archit celebrated his 15th birthday today, so getting to see Messi was a bonus.
I've loved him since I was a kid, and he's coming to where I live on a special day for me, my birthday, so I'm super excited, cannot wait to see him.
Ticket prices for Inter Miami's friendly tomorrow ranged from $880 to $4,880. Janice Yu, Cable News.
The Security and Justice Ministers have given more details about the Article 23 national security law when they appeared on iCable's Let's Talk program. Justice Chief Paul Lam said there is a chance that people convicted of treason could receive a maximum penalty of life in prison in line with international practice. Secretary for Security Chris Tang said the government is considering whether to allow anyone accused of revealing state secrets to use public interest as a defense. He said this could be allowed only in extreme conditions. As an example, information on casualties could be exempt. The government has proposed giving police sufficient time to investigate national security cases. Tang noted that Britain allows officers to detain a suspect for up to 14 days. The government is also studying a British national security regulation empowering police to ban a detained person from consulting a solicitor. Tang said only specific lawyers, such as those suspected to be accomplices, would be banned. He added that detainees would not be forbidden to meet all lawyers. In another program on RTHK, Lam said a group which receives funding from overseas, incites or resorts to violence will be deemed to be colluding with external forces. Maisie Mock, Cable News.
Executive Councillor Ronnie Tong says he agrees with the suggestion by Bar Association Chairman Victor Dawes to include a public interest defense to laws on the theft of state secrets and espionage. But Tong, who's also a barrister, said it is important that the legislation is stated clearly so that courts have sufficient reference when handling such cases. He added that it is crucial to define public interest to maintain mutual understanding between citizens and their government, so that a person might not breach the law by accident.
I do not disagree with what the bar chairman said. I think it is a considered opinion which is worth looking into. What I was talking about was the logic behind the concept of public interest. It is important for people to accept and to understand that national security itself is of paramount public interest.
Police Chief Raymond Seal says the force recruitment rate has surged by 60% since it relaxed its qualification criteria in May last year. He said there were 9,700 applications between last April and December. The number of people seeking to become probationary inspectors jumped by 58%, and there was a 63% increase in applications for constables. Height and weight requirements were eased, while candidates are now allowed to wear glasses during eye tests. The commissioner also threw his full support behind Article 23 and pledged that police will fulfill their duty to uphold national security.
The United States has launched airstrikes on 85 targets in Iraq and Syria. They were in retaliation for a drone attack which killed 3 American soldiers in a U.S. military base in Jordan last Sunday. Washington blamed a pro-Tehran group, but Iran said it was not responsible. Iranian President Ebrahim Raisi said Tehran does not intend to start a war, but will respond strongly if it is bullied. The U.S. attacks focused on sites used by pro-Iranian militias.
That includes command and control centers, intelligence centers, rockets, missiles, unmanned aerial vehicle storage areas, logistics and munition supplies, as well as they claim some militia groups and Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps sponsors.
Palestinian civilians trying to seek shelter in southern Gaza are bracing themselves for another Israeli attack. The death toll from Israel's bombardment of the tiny territory since October has climbed to over 27,000. Palestinians are already short of food and water, and now the cold weather has worsened their conditions. They are also worried that the little aid they receive will soon disappear. The United Nations agency that looks after them expects to shut down operations by the end of the month. That's because 17 Western countries have suspended funding after Israel accused some relief workers of siding with Hamas. The UN Children's Agency, meanwhile, is concerned about the plight of more than 1 million Palestinian children.
Said at least 17,000 children in the Gaza Strip are unaccompanied or separated from their families. This corresponds to 1% of the overall displaced population of 1.7 million people. The conflict has had a severe impact on children's mental health. UNICEF now estimates that almost all children in the Gaza Strip need some sort of mental health or psychosocial support. That's more than 1 million children.
Buying flowers for good fortune is an age-old tradition during the Lunar New Year. As the Year of the Dragon approaches, growers are busy delivering flowers all across the city to different organizations and households. Mandarin orange trees are a popular choice. Many pots at the Mongkok Flower Market have already been sold. Peach blossoms are another bestseller. This farm in Yuen Long attracted people from all over Hong Kong who ventured there to buy a good stock. Peach blossoms bloomed beautifully this year despite the unpredictable weather, said this flower farmer. Orchids have recently become popular during the Lunar New Year, said this grower. Flowers become an essential prop in the home during festive seasons, and even when the economy isn't doing well, people buy them in the hope that they bring good fortune. Janice Yu, Cable News.